Breaking through the conflict's complexity, the latest on the Gaza ceasefire negotiations. Hamas is currently engaging in discussions with other Palestinian factions before it delivers its formal feedback on the latest proposal for a Gaza ceasefire and hostage exchange, which the U.S. has put forward. President Donald Trump announced on Friday morning that we should expect to learn within the next 24 hours whether Hamas will accept the plan or not. But here's where it gets controversial. Last Tuesday, Trump stated that Israel had agreed to the key conditions for a temporary 60-day ceasefire, providing a chance for both sides to work towards concluding the ongoing conflict that has lasted nearly 20 months. Meanwhile, the Israeli Defense Forces continue their airstrikes across Gaza. Local reporters have described hearing loud explosions and gun battles, particularly in the southern Khan Younis area on Friday morning, as Israeli helicopters and artillery targeted the region. And this is the part most people miss. Tragically, overnight strikes on 2 makeshift shelters for displaced Palestinians claimed at least 15 lives in Khan Younis, reported the local Nasser hospital. The Israeli military has yet to respond to these incidents, but emphasized their continued operations to weaken Hamas's military capabilities. One of the most crucial points of the ceasefire proposition is that Hamas is reviewing the proposal from key mediators, Qatar and Egypt. The final decision on the proposal will be shared with these mediators once Hamas concludes its consultations, after which an official announcement will follow. The proposal is understood to offer a gradual exchange of 10 living Israeli captives and the remains of 18 other hostages in return for freeing Palestinian prisoners currently detained in Israeli detention centers. Notably, there are still 50 hostages in Gaza, with at least 20 reported to be alive. Another key demand by Hamas is a major shift in humanitarian aid delivery. The ceasefire draft seems to suggest allowing a steady influx of essential food and medical supplies directly into Gaza, facilitated by the United Nations and the Red Cross. The proposal also hints at a phased withdrawal of Israeli forces from areas in Gaza. Above all, the ceasefire plan aims to offer Hamas a critical assurance: no further Israeli military actions will be undertaken following the conclusion of this 60-day break. The plan further proposes that from day one, talks will commence to negotiate an end to the war and the release of all remaining hostages. Here's something to ponder. Do both sides take the proposal seriously, or are the conditions just a preliminary starting point? President Trump indicated on Friday that we'll soon know if Hamas is on board with the deal. This would ideally pave the way for renewed indirect negotiations ahead of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's upcoming visit to Washington. And we all hope it happens, but will Hamas agree? U.S. Ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, emphasized on Thursday that this ultimately relies on Hamas's decision. Everybody wants this to end: the president, the prime minister, and the people, Huckabee stated. Meanwhile, Netanyahu, during a visit to the community of Kibbutz Nir Oz, which is close to the Israel-Gaza border, reiterated his pledge to bring every hostage home safely. "I am committed to ensuring the return of every single one of our hostages," he declared. However, he didn't commit to ending the war, underscoring that the fighting will continue until all hostages are freed and Hamas's military influence is neutralized. This conflict erupted in October 2023, following an attack by Hamas that claimed 1,200 lives and resulted in 251 hostages taken. Since then, the toll in Gaza has risen to at least 57,130 fatalities, according to the health ministry operating under Hamas governance. What are your thoughts on the ceasefire proposal? Do you believe it could bring a real and lasting resolution? Or is this another temporary pause in a complex conflict? Share your views in the comments below.